Hello and welcome to the ARCS. We're live here from Fontana, California for the running of the Google Pixel 70. Well folks, after a short break in the ARCS, we now have our return race here in Fontana. Cooper Hones was last race's winner, if you can think back that far. Who can secure their spot in the playoffs next? We'll have to wait and see. But for now, let's take a look at your top 10 qualifiers in the field. Starting on the pole, Chris Hergesen. In second, John Ross Stein. In third, David Long. In fourth, Theophilus Morgendorfer Jr. In fifth, Darren Kiefer. In sixth, Randy Johnson. In seventh, John Hendricks. In eighth, Jack Porter. In ninth, Diego Tacone. And rounding out your top 10, Draven Sandy. Let's take a look at the rest of the field and get right into the action here at California. And we're live here at California, and the pace car is going to dive off there. Richard Petty and that Dodge Challenger are on pit road. Chris Hergesen, the rookie, forgot to mention that in the top 10 rundown, but the rookie is your pole sitter here today. And with a fairly good start, Chris Hergesen will lead us to green here at Fontana. And I apologize to Ralph Johnson. I accidentally called him Randy Johnson, so just had to throw that out there. Got to own up to my mistake here, and hopefully nobody makes a mistake early in this race, as we've seen in the last 3 seasons here in the ARCS, a lot of carnage go on the first lap here at Fontana, California, but so far, so bueno here in California. But Chris Hergesen, your leader, with a fairly sizable margin over David Long, but David Long is there. And we've said David Long's name quite a bit this season, as he has been a really consistent driver thus far. 8 races in here, and the first lap is going to go to Chris Hergesen in that 40 machine. But a big gaggle of cars back there, and we'll have to watch them going into turn 1 here. And we might see some contact. Oh! Armando O'Reilly in the 23 gets into the 24, but Ralph Johnson spins the 24, and that is his new alter ego. And the 24 car of Theophilus Morgendorfer Jr. is around, but David Long is your leader now, as Chris Hergesen gets slowed up on the backstretch, and Diego Tacone is there for second place, the 2 car for second place, but the 99 is your leader, and he'll lead back to the caution flag here at Fontana, and I don't think we're going to need a replay of that one, and we'll get back to the action in just a moment if we don't see pit stops here. And we're back here at Fontana Motor Speedway, and Richard Petty's going to dive off again after only getting about 5 laps under green here, but nonetheless, that's fairly good, as we've seen many chaotic starts, as I mentioned earlier, but the 24 car of Theophilus Morgendorfer Jr. is still on track with a lot of damage to the rear end of that car, but he is still going. No cars out of this event, as you can see, the 24 with major rear end damage, but will continue. And David Long pulled a sneaky on the pole sitter, Chris Hergesen, and he got the lead on the backstretch. We were unfortunately watching the wreck that happened, but David Long pulled some tomfoolery, and speaking of tomfoolery, we might see a pass for the lead here as the 2 of Diego Tacone steps out of line and gets underneath the 99 of David Long and Jacob Bradley. 2 people that have been in this series quite a long time, 2 season veterans. Jacob Bradley returning for season 3 after he, well, not retired, but just gave up racing after season 1. He came back in a bid to make another championship push. And 2 season veterans, like I said, up at the front. But, the rookie of Chris Hergesen trying to upset Diego Tacone and Jacob Bradley, as these drivers have been in the series quite a long time and have shared many victories between all the races we've done in 3 seasons thus far. But Chris Hergesen looking to the inside of the 5 car. But, Darren Kiefer, speaking of talent and resilience, Darren Kiefer, your season 2 champion up here, looking for second place over Chris Hergesen, that rookie. But Diego Tacone's going to lead here, and we have 9 of 35 complete here in the Google Pixel 70. But Tony Jansen up here as well, trying to get underneath that 38. I believe that 38 is Keith Vega. Yes, it is. As Darren Kiefer makes a charge for the lead over Diego Tacone. 2 Dodges up at the front. Then you got a Mustang and 2 other Mustangs, David Long and Keith Vega. But how about that Mercedes of Joffrey Weeds? He was a winner earlier this season, and he's in the playoffs. So good job for Joffrey Weeds, but he's really just looking for more bonus points here at Fontana after that win. But how about that 42 car of John Hendricks on that bottom lane? We've really not talked about him much at all this season, but Tony Jansen with a really good run off the bottom lane, and he's going to make it even with Darren Kiefer on the backstretch here. But if you looked back there, you'd see Chris Hergeson about 12th place there. He has absolutely fallen off. Whoa, as Keith Vega and Diego Tacon nearly made contact there. And there's Chris Hergeson in that 43 car of Cooper Holland's trying to make it 2 in a row and complete history here in the ARCS and tie a record set by the driver of the 8 car now, Ricky Quinn. 2 race victories in a row. That's a very prestigious honor here in the ARCS. Only one driver's ever done it through 3 seasons thus far. And that would be Ricky Quinn. But the car that did it in season 1 and 2, or season 2 I should say, was the 43 car. So that 43 car definitely got some good magic underneath the hood. As whoa, contact back here. They are not racing really clean. They are bumping and banging here at this 2-mile oval. But we'll see who leads the lap here. Will it be Tony Jansen or John Hendrickson? Tony Jansen will lead that lap, but John Hendricks with the preferred line going into turn 1 here at Fontana. Whoa, and Tony Jansen really had to let off the gas as you saw flames come out of the exhaust there. So he really laid off the gas. But how about John Ross Stein? He started on the outside lane, I believe outside pole, and he got shuffled back, but he's up here. And Ralph Johnson, not Randy Johnson, Ralph Johnson's in 3rd place, but they were 4 wide back there. I think they made it through cleanly, but we'll have to look. Wow, look at this, folks. Almost 5 wide here at Fontana. They are absolutely going bonkers in California. Oh, but Cooper Holmes is up here as well. We talked about him earlier, cutting through the field. He's got momentum on his side, even though it's been a little time since we last had a race here in the ARCS. Does not matter. He is still on the charge and looking to get another win this season. Maybe even this race. We'll have to wait and see. But John Ross Stein is your leader. And how about John Ross Stein? Didn't start the season off. Was a late entry to this season, but nonetheless, late entry or not, he is leading here. And if he wins, folks, he's in. Or he could possibly point his way in. It would be a very difficult way to point himself in, but it is definitely mathematically possible because there are still quite a few races left till we get to Talladega and set the playoff field for Season 3. But Ralph Johnson on the bottom lane, and that 88 car is going to probably stick his nose in there. Ooh, and 2 Chevys up at the front. And Ralph Johnson will take the lead here. But the 3 car of Joshua Harrison is there as well. Drafting off the 88, and we've got a Chevy top 4 up here. All 4 drivers in the front are Chevys. Then you've got a Mustang, the 21 car. I believe that is Richard Morphy there. Whoa, 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 whoa. We got a caution, folks. Everybody's slowing down. What happened? And it looks like Quinn Porter might have got some damage. We'll have to get a replay, folks. 15 of 35 complete. Let's take a look. And we're back. Let's take a look at the replay. Oh, and Jack Porter squeezes Quinn Porter, but these cars up at the top lane get together as well. And Blubber Plummer there, not happy with what he sees out his front windscreen. But Quinn Porter with the most damage there in that accident. We'll get back to the action in just a moment. And we're back here at Fontana, California. And Joshua Harrison, as you saw the 88 car of Ralph Johnson get back to the stripe first, but they apparently let Joshua Harrison around Ralph Johnson and Richard Morphy, so Draven Sandy and the 3 car benefited from a scoring error here at Auto Club. We'll have to see what the stewards have to say about that, but anyway, we'll roll with it here. But a little confusing here at Auto Club, but we'll have to see who comes out of pit road in first place. Hopefully Ralph Johnson can pick up some of those spots that he lost due to a technicality here, but Draven Sandy has a long ways to go down the pit road as well, as you can see his sign waving there in his pit crew. Ralph Johnson there, John Ross Stein, and there's the man telling the pit crews to get in their box, and Chris Hergeson, wow, Chris Hergeson and David Long both toward the mid-pack of this field, had to drive a long ways. Whoa! I thought that 24 was going to careen into the 88, but the 88 of Ralph Johnson will retain all of his position, so good job for Ralph Johnson. But David Long with a really slow stop, and John Ross Stein with an even longer stop here. And there are all the drivers as they come off pit road, and we'll get back to the action here at Fontana. And we're back here in California in the Google Pixel 70 after a caution period and some pit stops. But Ralph Johnson is your leader after that little scoring technicality coming to pit road. But Maxwell Smart's got up to second place, and we'll see what he can do with that as he hops to the outside, maybe carry some momentum through turn one. We'll have to wait and see. As everybody slowly gets up to speed, Draven Sandy's hounding the 2-car. Whoa! Is Draven Sandy going to turn him? He almost does, but Diego Tacone uses that momentum and the push from Draven Sandy to draw even with Ralph Johnson for the lead. But will Draven Sandy make it 3 wide for the lead going into turn 3? 3 wide in 3, maybe even 4 wide if they force it. Oh! As Richard Morphy sticks his Mustang nose in there. Oh, and he's giving that 00 a shot coming off the turn 4. Oh my goodness. And how they have not wrecked after that restart, I have no idea, as we've got 15 laps to go here in California. Draven said, oh, we got a massive crash. Oh my goodness, a hellacious hit. That was a sharp right-hand turn right into the outside wall, and that 3-car knows a lot about sharp right-hand corners into the outside wall. My goodness. Oh, and another accident. Cooper Hones pissed off at the 47 of Tyler Seville as he has ruined his chance to go back-to-back. And who's going to lead back to the stripe? I believe it's going to be Richard Morphy. We'll have to wait and see. And Richard Morphy does it here at California. We'll have to get a replay of the accident, and we'll be back in just a moment. And here's a look at the hard hit here for Maxwell Smart, Joshua Harrison, and Cooper Hones. Tyler Seville involved as well. And that is absolute junkyard going into turn 2 here. And you can see Cooper Hones, as you can see here, voicing his displeasure with Tyler Seville there as he bumps him out of the way. And Cooper Hones not happy with that move, but we'll get back to the action here in the Google Pixel 70. And we're back here at Fontana, California. 24 of 35 complete, and we have 2 drivers out of this event now. In 41st, we'll finish the 20 of Maxwell Smart in that accident, and 40th, the 47 of Tyler Seville with a header issue, but we all know what happened there. As when they cross the stripe, we will have 10 laps to go, and a quick tidbit here. ARCS lower time as the 2-car, as we focus on him here, Diego Tacone, if he could get the win here today, he could break the tie for the all-time wins list in the ARCS history, so he could be the all-time wins list leader if he could win here today. And there are a couple drivers on that list, but they are back toward the back of the pack, as you can see him falling back there, but probably didn't like what he saw up front here, so he's just biding his time. He still has 10 laps, but there's just a little bit of history there as we get going and the cars get up to speed here in Fontana. 21 of Richard Morphy, your leader still, but Bussy Sr. is there, and Draven Sandy in that Starcom fiber car is there as well. 3-car sort of breakaway, I would say. Ooh, as the 10-car side drafted that 00 and kind of sent him up the hill just a little bit and took his line, and that's going to plummet Draven Sandy back to the clutches of Jack Porter and Tony Jansen back there. And the 21 and Richard Morphy and the 10 are side by side. Will they make contact? Oh, they do not, but the 21 of Richard Morphy loses traction and goes up the hill, and that's going to allow the 10-car of Bussy Sr. to scoot away, but not by much. Will Tony Jansen help his Ford teammate, or will Michael Redinger in that Interstate Batteries Toyota help the 21 of Richard Morphy? We'll have to wait and see, and Ralph Johnson is making contact. Oh, Tony Jansen makes contact. Armando O'Reilly, let's watch this here. Oh, they are getting really dicey. There's not many laps left in this race. But how about David Long there? He's on the bottom lane. John Ross Stein as well is there. Those guys were contenders early in this one. They're trying to make a charge late, as we can see. Oh my goodness, folks. They are so close to each other. You couldn't slide a piece of paper between these cars. But Richard Morphy still your leader. 28 of 35 complete here in the Google Pixel 70. But how about the 2 Motorcraft cars leading here? The newer scheme and the older scheme. 1-2 here. Jack Porter and Richard Morphy. And they're both in Fords, so definitely getting their sponsorship money's worth here. Whoa, and David Long, aggressive move in the middle. He absolutely sends it. And Matthew Bussey Sr. not happy with that move. Oh, and Diego Tacone nearly turns Matthew Bussey Sr. That's going to slow him up. But how about these 2 cars up at the front? Drafting off each other, will they work together? No, they won't. They're going to be selfish here. And will they draw even? If they draw even, folks, that's going to stall themselves out. Oh, Jack Porter, he might be making a rookie mistake here. Oh, and David Long gets turned! Bussey Sr., Mitch Barrier go around in front of the field, and they save it! Mitch Barrier saves it, and so does Matthew Bussey Sr. Likely a caution, but that was a crazy save in front of the field, and Richard Petty's going dirt tracking in the dirt there. But Jack Porter's going to lead back to the stripe with 5 laps to go. We'll probably get a 1 or 2 lap dash. No need for a replay as nobody was involved and got major damage. But we'll get back to the action here in Fontana in just a moment. And we're back here at Fontana, California for the running of the Google Pixel 70. 33 of 35 complete. We're going to get a 2-lap dash here in Fontana. Both the Motorcraft cars up front. 1-2, Ralph Johnson third. The 1 car of Aiden King fourth. 5th, Draven Sandy. And 6th, Diego Tacone. Will he be a factor? We'll have to wait and see. Oh, and that 21 is right on the bumper of the 15. But Ralph Johnson going to stick his nose underneath both of these cars. Going into turn 1, the aggressor of Ralph Johnson. Will he make a move? Does he have what he needs? Don't count out Diego Tacone and David Long. They are back there as well. History could be made here today, folks. We teased it earlier, but it could happen. Oh, Diego Tacone's going to make a move to the inside of Draven Sandy. Jack Porter, your leader. And don't count it out, folks. We could still see a caution. As Diego Tacone to the inside of Draven Sandy and Richard Morphy. He is there, up to 3rd place. Here we come, folks, to the final lap. Ralph Johnson on the inside, Jack Porter on the outside. Who's going to lead to the checkered flag? We'll have to wait and see. But Diego Tacone is there. These 2 cars side by side. They might... Oh, and that's going to hold up Jack Porter. Will Diego Tacone be able to make a run around Jack Porter? I don't see it happening. We're going to need to see a massive push from somebody to get Ralph Johnson. Coming off turn 3 and 4, David Long going to make a diving move to the inside of Diego Tacone. But Ralph Johnson, a.k.a. Randy the Machine Johnson's going to come off turn 4 and win here at Auto Club. Congratulations to Ralph Johnson, and you just punched your ticket into the Season 3 playoffs. And we're back here at Fontana, California after a beautiful night race here in California with Ralph Johnson collecting the victory. And might I add, he's a rookie here in Season 3, so congratulations to Ralph Johnson. In second, we had another rookie, David Long, in that 99, coming up close yet again. He's just been so consistent this season. In third, Diego Tacone, who was trying to chase history here, but ultimately fell up short. In fourth, Aiden King with a fairly quiet day with a solid top 5 effort. In fifth, Robbie Margot. In sixth, Jack Porter, who was leading late in this race, but ultimately came up short again. In seventh, Draven Sandy. In eighth, Benedict Schumacher. In ninth, Michael Redinger. Rounding out your top 10, Richard Morphy. And let's take a look at the rest of your field. Not many drivers out of this event. Only 2 drivers. If you would have told me coming into this race we'd only have 2 drivers out, I would have called you crazy. But next weekend, folks, we head to Watkins Glen, so hope to see you there. But sayonara from Hollywood, California.